Hip hop since 1987.com.
Terrell Thomas here at Phillips Arena with the Hawks Means Business, and I'm with the one and only Chaka Zulu. A lot of you may not be familiar with the gentleman just by his face, but I can guarantee that you've been familiar with his work and a lot of things that he's been doing from behind the scenes. So the Hawks did a great job by picking you as an entrepreneur to talk about business and the Hawks meeting business. So why don't you give us a brief overview of who you are and some of the things you've accomplished?
Okay, once again, my name is Chaka Zulu. As far as accomplishments, I just do a lot of work. But you might know me in particular for my business partner, my client Ludacris, and everything that comes up under that umbrella. So we have a successful record label, film and television company, publishing, marketing, restaurateurs. We've done liquor brands. We have a consulting company. There's a number of things that I've done in that space. In my own personal space, I do speaking engagements. I do corporate consulting. Personal consulting, mentorship. I'm just a guy who likes to be active and impactful, but I'm only with the things that I'm passionate about. So, I'm passionate about a lot of things, obviously, and I like being effective.
Now, some people like to use the word or the cliche, jack of all trades, master of none. But I think that doesn't apply to you. I won't quite necessarily call you a master of all things, but from the outside looking in, and I've done some work with you also behind the scenes, you definitely have a great grip on how you handle your business. Can you talk to me about some of the strategies you've learned over time that have helped you become a successful entrepreneur?
Well, I would say if it's not a jack of all trades, I'd say I know a little bit about a whole lot, right? And I say that in the sense of, I like to be fluid. So we talk about mantras or we talk about mindsets that I bring into business. I look for opportunities as an entrepreneur. I have to look for opportunities where, one, I can create value, and then in creating that value, then monetize it. So I can't keep it in one box. I got to look at it. There's a book I read called "When Brands Become Icons." It's why McDonald's is McDonald's, the Burger King is Burger King. It's why these companies became it, because they started with ideas. And so I'm one of those people that I'm able to sit and I'm connected to culture in a way where if I look at the fashion trend, I can say, well, I see the trend, where's it going? And if I've seen that trend before, where did it go? And if as a businessman I can say, well, I know where that's going, then I know where to inject myself with what I do into that business model. So it doesn't matter if it's fashion, film, television, sports, restaurants, or real estate. I'm looking at those trends, and if I'm a smart businessman, I know how to inject myself. And it doesn't take, you don't have to be a master at it, you just have to understand what it is you do well, and then how that you fit into that business doing it.
Very well said. I know one of the key points of the business also was the team. But that's, running with the Hawks and them running like such a collective team. Also talk to me about the importance of having a strong team when you're in the role of an entrepreneur.
It's definitely, you gotta have a team to successfully execute on a high level. You start when it starts small and when you're independent, movements start with one or few. It takes, 1 or 2 people or 3 to 5 people to really start something. But if you plan on growing and being impactful and competing with the big boys or competing on a global scale, which is, we're in a global world now. The internet and social media has made the world flat. If you drop a mixtape here in Atlanta today, it's in Africa the same amount of time. So if you're not looking at the impact you have in Atlanta as well as the impact you're having in Africa, then you're not thinking correctly. And so with that understanding, you just have to, you have to be aware, you have to be nimble, and you have to understand where business should be. You got to have that vision. And even if you don't have that vision, you have to learn on the curve to know, like, okay, hey, there's some opportunities that I'm not paying attention to. And so as you want to grow, you have to build your team strategically to grow. You know what I'm saying? Because, you can try to do everything, but it's virtually impossible. Something's going to slip through the cracks. But you also don't want to grow too fast. So, build your team one at a time and make sure that people are assets to your team, not liabilities. And make sure that people are playing their position. They do what they do and not necessarily step on each other's toes. That's how you empower each other.
Very well said. Before I let you go, I also got to ask you longevity. That's something that definitely can be associated with you and everything that you've been doing with DTP, working with 2-9, working with Big Brick. Can you talk to me about how to find longevity in the music business or in the entertainment business, period?
I think longevity is about adjustment. I mean, there's no one way, you know, and it's about adjustment. The world is a changing place, it's an evolving place. So for longevity, you have to evolve. Your company, your branding, your ideals, your new blood. You have to bring neophyte blood into your organization so that you can grow and that you can, you know, figure out where the new direction is. If not, you'll become a dinosaur, and you know you may be able to survive. You might be able to survive. It's not impossible, but it's more important to be fluid so that you can adjust, and in that way you can have some longevity.
Very well said. Terrell Thomas here at Phillips Arena with the one and only Chaka Zulu and the Atlanta Hawks. Make sure, why don't you tell them how they can follow you via social media?
I'm really only on one social media, which is Instagram, which is at ULUZ, the number 3. That's Zulu backwards, the number 3. And you know, I'm there, but other than that, I'm everywhere. So if you see me, speak to me.
Stay tuned for Hip Hop since 1987 for everything this man has going on. And make sure you follow the Atlanta Hawks at ATL Hawks.
Hip Hop since 1987.com.